everybody. This is Steve Moore, owner of Run More, Carroll County's premier running shop, a brick and mortar store in Westminster, Maryland. We're also the home of your online reviews. Today we're doing the new Altra Lone Peak 4.0. So we've been carrying Altra since we opened the store 4 years ago. We are an licensed Altra dealer, and this is a shoe we've been carrying for quite some time. We're really excited about this update that came out. Huge differences from the 4.0, almost unrecognizable if you look at the old 3.5 compared to the 4.0. Anybody who has been with Altra for a while knows their story and their background, but just a real quick for those who don't. Altra, a small little company out of Utah that's been kicking butt for a while now. They have a zero drop platform, so the heel and the toe are on the same platform. It's level. It has an arch to it, but the inside, the heel and the toe is on the same platform. They also have the nice wide toe box to it, helps with toe splay, helps with any type of neuropathy. There's a lot of great advantages of having a wide toe box. All right, so let's get into the nuts and bolts about the shoe. So if you're familiar with the old shoe, the 3.5, this shoe is basically great for somebody who's sort of a mid-cushion trail runner, right? So when you're doing trail, you have a lot of options. You can do something a little more minimal, something a little more standard, and something that's sort of max cushion, just like you'd find in your everyday shoe. So if you're thinking about if you're an Altra fan and you're doing the road, for example, I would try to call this kind of like your Torin. You know, it's your everyday neutral, great shoe for mid-cushion. It's responsive, it's wide, it's got a lot of good stuff to it, and it translates well to like sort of their everyday shoe, which is their Torin. I never loved this shoe personally for running the chokes. To me, it was too kind of bulky. The old one just felt kind of big and kind of bulky. Even though the weight picked up on this one a decent amount, I didn't notice any bit of weight difference on it, and it feels so much airier. To me, this shoe feels more like a better Superior than it does last year's Lone Peak. So the Superior is their everyday, faster, low-cushion shoe. I would call it, for lack of better description, like their Escalante. You know, meant for a faster, more of a sleek shoe around on the trails. And that always felt faster and better to me. I didn't want to feel too sloppy because I also wasn't doing 100-mile trail races. So I wanted something for like that hour to hour and a half trail run. And to me, the Superior was perfect for that. This shoe now feels like the Superior, but just a little bit better. So it's got more cushion to it, but it doesn't feel as bulky. I don't feel like I'm going to trip myself or kick myself as I did with the previous model. The Lone Peak always just felt like the toe box was so big that I was prone to sort of kick myself on the inside when running the trail. I don't think that's going to be an issue whatsoever on this, just like it's not an issue for the Superior. So just in the overall regard in putting the shoe on, I immediately was like, it feels lighter, even though it's heavier. It felt much airier. It felt much better fitting on my foot overall. And as always, the sizing seems to be better. If anybody who's been with Altra for a while knows that is their big problem, is getting better on their sizings. Look at that. People are calling me. They're so excited about this shoe. This shoe is better, but it's still not great. I'm an 11.5 in most everything. You know, if I'm putting on a Brooks shoe, if I'm putting on any other brands, 11.5 seems to fit me right. I was like a 12.5 in the Lone Peak. I went between a 12 and a 12.5 and just couldn't quite find the right sizing for that. This was an 11.5, and I put it on to see. It's a little bit short. I'd probably be a 12 in it. So it's close to what I usually am and say like a Torin, which I would be an 11.5, but it's still probably a half a size short. So make sure you do go up a half size if you're looking for this shoe. Go up a half size if you're looking for this shoe. Sorry. So I would definitely go a half size up in this shoe if you're possible because it just needs a little bit more to it. It also has the gator trap on the back. I get questions about what a gator trap is all the time. For backup literature, I call it a turtleneck for your shoe. It has this little Velcro piece on the back and a little hook on the front. And what that's for is your gator trap. It's going to keep all the dirt, all the nonsense, all the crud that's going to go from inside your shoe to the outside of your shoe. Again, you really have to be pretty technical to need this, but it's what those are for. People always ask me what that's for. That's what it's for. Also, one big difference in the Lone Peak compared to other models like the Superior is the integrated rock guard that's built into the shoe. If you look really close in here, you can see the rock guard inside there. Here's what that is. This stone guard is going to protect you if you're coming over some sharp, pointy edges on rocks. It's not going to penetrate your shoe. It's not going to protect you from really, really terrible stuff, stepping on a nail, for example. But for most of your little sharp, pointy edge stuff, this little bit of added protection that's integrated into the Lone Peak 4.0 is going to give you just a little bit extra support. Overall, super great, happy with the update. If you go to our website, use promo code RUNMORE, you're going to save yourself 10% plus free shipping on the shoes. If you follow us on a couple of our platforms, we do updates periodically, so keep tabs on what we're doing out there. Like us and subscribe us, and thank you. And as always, I will see you around town.